You can make it more. Come on, give it up, give it up.
No. Hold on. Applause must be earned. Whooping and holler. This is the wind down. Let's keep it real mellow. We're going to only ask the questions as whispers.
Oh, okay.
And make everybody. This is how we're going to double the group in here.
Is that we're going to bring
if
them
we
in?
whisper, the people walking by who don't care about this, but they're going to be like, wow, something sounds super interesting in there. They're all talking in such reverential, hushed tones.
They're shooting a Quiet Place 3 in
Quiet
here.
Place 3. When they go to the convention.
Don't make a noise.
The Quiet Place
Or the aliens
monsters
get you.
have found their way into the convention hall.
They're real, y'all. Shake told me. He says they real and they hunting me.
And then the third one, what sets the monsters off is the guy goes like this. He's like overcharging someone for their signature, and the Sharpie marker goes, eek. And then they all whip around like those crazy little creatures that know they're still not explaining what they are. And I hate that movie because they don't explain it, but I can't get mad about it right now because we got to whisper stuff.
All right.
I pitched an idea that for the Quiet Place 3 that they kill all the humans and then they die of starvation and.
No go?
No, I didn't. No notes. No notes.
0 notes.
They also didn't validate my parking either.
That's classic Quiet Place stuff.
Classic Dave Willis
validate
pitch.
stuff.
Well, let's before we open up for questions, I would love to talk to you guys. Just talk about the project itself. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, such a fun show. First of all, Dave, how did you come up with this crazy idea?
Well, Matt Malero and I came up with it. We were writing on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, if you remember that show.
Of course. Space Ghost.
And
R.I.P. George Lowe.
Yes.
Yes,
Rest in
yes.
peace.
But we were very bored of writing that show, and we wrote an episode of Space Ghost where the show is taken over by these 3 anthropomorphic food products, which sounded wildly different than they actually ended up sounding. Master Shake sounded like this. Behold, your hunger is out of control, spaceman. So, yeah, obviously that would have been so much more iconic than what we ended up with. But
Wouldn't have made it past season 1, baby.
yeah, and we were very bored with, but they were doing Adult Swim at the time, and we were like, well, can we pitch this as a show? And they were like, this is terrible, but yes, we'll let you make one.
All right. So you make the one, and then
And then we started making the second one because we were like, they're not going to pick this up. We need to get them pregnant with it. And our boss was like, that's not how you make TV shows. When he found out we were making the second one, and he was like, I ought to fire y'all's ass, which is a direct quote. And I was like, yes, I agree. I think you should, but we've already started on it. You might as well finish it. And then he just said, we'll let you make 6 if you make 6 more Space Ghosts.
Okay.
And it worked out.
Awesome. And how did Carey and Danny get attached to the project?
Carey was, you want to tell the story, Carey? Or
They hired some other guy at first, right? You had
We did.
A trucker or something?
The guy was a trucker who had an unbelievable voice, could not act a lick. Could not act a lick. And then...
I was doing what they call bumps and promos for like Cartoon Network. I was the original announcer for the first run of Samurai Jack. I was the guy to come on and say, on the next Samurai Jack, Jack meets the Scotsman, or Jack gets into this, that, and the other. And apparently some production assistant, I think his name is Larry Morris, heard me.
Yeah.
And ran to Matt Malero and Dave, and he was like, you got to hear this Carey Means guy. He'd be perfect for the show y'all doing about these food products. And I was working at a market research firm at the time. I was the guy who would call your house in the middle of dinner and go, what do you think in 10 years everyone will have a cell phone? Somewhat likely, very likely, not all. I was the guy you hung up on when you're trying to eat your dinner.
I was the guy at home going, oh, God, Carey's calling me again. Shit.
So I'm in the break room on my day job, And I got once upon a time, kids, there was this thing called a fax machine where it made these very weird noises, and it would send over a lot of ones and zeros, and they would form numbers and letters. So the script for Brabot was faxed to me by my agent, and she just described Frylock to me. I didn't have any idea what he looked like. She was just like, okay, the name, Frylock, Sherlock, get the correlation? I was like, okay, I got it. And then she was like, he's
Not at all related, by the way.
He's the straight man. He's the one who wants
Glad
to solve
your
the
agent
mystery.
directed you in that.
He's the one who wants to solve the mystery. He's the straight-laced one. He wants to do good. He wants to solve the case. The other two are just idiots. And I was like, okay, let me see the script. So I started reading from the script. No, Meatwad, don't get the jam box. And I could hear Matt and Dave on the conference call in the background and just cracking up. And I was like,
That was funny. That was funny right now.
I was like, what is this crap? I'm not going to get this. That's a rule of thumb in voiceover world, folks. Just hit it, quit it, and forget it. Because 90% of the stuff you audition for, you're not going to get. So they selected me over this non-acting trucker. They kicked him to the curb, and I got Frylock, and that's how I got in. Dana, how did they wrangle you in?
What was the question?
How'd you get involved with Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
I entered a nationwide contest. You had to draw a picture of your most vivid nightmare, and I had the best one. It was like an opposite nightmare. There was a real serene sort of landscape. It looked very calm. There was a little wishing well. There was a beautiful little tree. There was one of those fruit salad trees. You know, the ones that have like different, you know what I'm talking about, sir. There's kind of fruit ones. This was a stone fruit one. It had plums and apricots and nectarines and peaches, because they can go the same, but you can't have apples and peaches on the same one. They do it with citrus too. So there was that little tree, and then there's a little house up on the hill, sort of. It was more like a glen, but it wasn't too high, but it was up on the hill. And it all looked fine, but the longer you looked at it, you realized little cracks in the facade of this seemingly peaceful. This was my comment on what life is like in America at this
Land the
time.
plane.
That it looks
Land
nice.
the plane.
It's a total nightmare. You realize the fruits were eyeballs. I mean, what story? I auditioned and then I got it. I don't know what.
No, I think
else?
there's
I
a
read a
story.
book.
No, there's a story behind
There's
the
a
audition.
story to it because we
Absolutely.
were like, what voice do we want? And then we were like, what about like a Christopher Walken? And of course, we couldn't hire Christopher Walken because we did not have a truckload of money, and we were also non-union. And we auditioned a guy who sounded like it. It's like, I am the Lord of Illusion. I can't do it. Can you do a good Walken?
No, I do a terrible.
I am the Lord of
Lord of Illusion.
Of
Yeah, it's terrible.
illusion.
I sound like a weird guy driving a bus. I don't know what it.
And then we were like, well, that definitely doesn't work. And Dana was just this. Dana was this ghost, this legendarily funny
This part's very true.
friend of a sister of a girlfriend.
I went to college with the girl who went to high school with Dave Willis.
But we just reached out to him on a lark. I didn't even know what he sounded like, and we got him to
Well,
just.
you called Ashley,
Yeah.
and you said we're looking for some voice for something, and she said, what should he sound like? And Dave said he should sound like his mouth writes checks, his body can't cash. She goes, oh, call Dana Snyder. That's exactly what he sounds like.
But you left a voicemail, and
Yeah, this is how professional it was. A voicemail on a landline phone with a cord for the children in here. You used to not be able to go too far in your house. If you wanted to answer the phone, you knew where the phone was. You never lost the phone because it was attached to the wall on this long cord, and you could only go so far with it. And then the handset was also on a long cord. None of this cordless stuff all the TikTokers have now with their cool stuff. Yeah, so I left it like on your work voicemail message at like 1 o'clock in the morning because my friend Dave had different Dave. See, now it's getting confusing. Let's call him Albert just to keep it separated. My friend Albert came and we went to dinner, we went to drinks, and then that night was the Ringling Brothers when they used to parade the elephants down 34th Street. They'd take them through the Midtown Tunnel.
see, this is an irrelevant part of the story.
No,
I
it's
think.
the best part. And then we all watched these elephants just walking down 34th Street. Then we got home. I said, oh, I got to record this thing.
those shoes. So I do read the thing, come on, rabbit, whatever. I was like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what a Meatwad is. I don't know what a Frylock is. I don't know anything. A master shot, none of this makes sense. And then Dave was called me hey, man. That's my spot-on Dave impersonation. Hey, man, that was great. But I accidentally erased it, buddy. You think you could do it again? And then I immediately did it again. He's like, man, I don't know. It just didn't quite sound the same. I'm like, I think I know the problem. Then I still told Albert, I was like, Albert, we have to Groundhog Day what we did yesterday. We had to do everything exactly the same. We had to go out for 17 pitchers of beer. I had to have the steak with the peppers. I don't know how we're going to see these freaking elephants, but we got to somehow get that mojo going again. And then I did it all again the next night after he read it. Wait, look interesting, taking a picture. Okay. No, that's when the guy had the seizure on stage, yeah. Moments before he collapsed. But then I did it the second time. He's like, yeah, that was it. I was like, oh, God, what am I going to have a steak dinner every night, every time I got to record? Eat peppers and go find elephants? It's the most difficult.
But it was, it was a very small group of people. So we were like, that's it. Let's book a flight to Las Vegas and let's record him. We had to book some studio where we couldn't even see you.
Yeah, I was in Las Vegas doing this burlesque show that I wrote. So they came out to see me record, to watch you record.
You had never done any voiceover before.
And it was in a
We
house.
had never made a cartoon before. We had just done Space
It was
Ghost.
a match made in heaven.
So what came first, the cartoon or the voice acting? Did you already have the cartoon drawn?
Well, we had the script, and we kind of knew what he looked like.
I definitely remember Matt Malero showing me on his computer this dumb cup, and he's like, "That's you, buddy. That's who you're playing right there." And it was just I was like, "Does it move? Is this like a flip?"
He did not have any arms because we could not animate that, so we just put his hands right here and just wiggled them.
It was just 4 pictures, like a GIF, but before GIFs were, and it was just, I was like,
Our animator was like, so
right.
how does Frylock move? Does he just flip over and run with his fries? And we're like, no, he floats because that's free.
and the gag, if I can, spoiler alert, with Frylock is that he's like a warlock. I mean, Clay told me this, but the secret is, can you see him up there? Is he up there? He's always got the Harry Potter lightning bolt down the side of his nose. See? You didn't know it was that deep. So it's just stupid stuff, talking about poop monsters and things. There's some real thought up there. Right? Isn't that the thing? That's what Clay told me.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, maybe he was just
I don't have a clue.
He told me that was like a
He's
warlock.
supposed to be a wizard.
So we put but
He
there's
probably
never,
spent some time teaching at Hogwarts,
There's never a...
Went up against Voldemort a few times. Oop, I said his name.
There's never
Damn.
an angle of Frylock that he doesn't have. You can't see that.
Sometimes it's on the other side of
it
his
flops
face.
around. Well,
Mirror images,
there's worse things. Like, you ever watch a Peanuts cartoon and really try and think about it? You're like, that little guy's arms was about 2 inches long, and now all of a sudden he's able to reach his head, like it's suddenly stretching through some...
There were some real mathematical discussions about so is Meatwad's face just gonna roll with his body, or is it just gonna sink into his body and he rolls and then is like, nah, it's gonna float. Let's move on.
Anything that's a question of moving or not moving, let's just assume it's not moving.
What could he turn into a rocket? No, we've already animated the hot dog and the igloo. Let's stick with those until we get just a little bit more money in the budget.
Which was cut to the second movie. Yes. He was able, what did he turn into finally?
And at a certain point we were like, he'll do it off screen, and then we cut to a still of him as Abraham Lincoln samurai.
Right.
Samurai Lincoln.
Yes.
You just hear off screen the squeak.
Did you make that set? So these guys did a lot of homemade stuff for the show. Almost every time there's a fire, there was what that fire was.
It was a campfire that we shot across the street from my house on high 8 camera. And for some reason, whenever there was an explosion, we could not afford to buy the plug-in graphics of the explosion. So we would just have to cut to a campfire and hear a boom. And if you look closely, if a candle is lit in the room, that's a tiny campfire.
It's all over the.
The most ramshackle,
Yes.
most not mailed in because we were trying very hard, but it's just no one wanted us to succeed. And so we were not given the tools to succeed, and we somehow, now we're sitting in front of you 25 years later. But yes.
I don't see Assy McGee up here. All the money in the world for Xavier Renegade Angel.
It's funny that you would cite Xavier. That show is just dripping with money.
I know. Well, none of them really had money, I guess. But I mean, and by the way, the plug-in for that explosion thing was probably about $32. They're like, nope, too much.
You walk down the hall to Keith, tell them no.
Okay.
So what was the writing process like on the show? Just coming up with the episodes, and did you originally have a plan? Because to keep it them be detectives the whole run.
No,
and
we didn't
abandon
even
it?
want them to be detectives. We never wanted them to be detectives. Our boss was like, make them detectives. You know, Scooby-Doo's very successful. It's very detective-y, and so we imagined this is how they would be detectives. Like Shake would name the detective squad, get a bunch of T-shirts made, and then like never give them out, and then they just have a closet full of T-shirts. And our boss just didn't think we could. He thought they needed like a story engine, and and honestly, like the first 10 or so episodes are just failed Space Ghost scripts, that he like Dumber Dolls was. Originally, that was a script that Matt and I wrote where Space Ghost gets a doll and he falls in love with the doll, like romantic love with the doll. And the doll was dancing all the time. And Rick Rolling. This is before Rick Rolling. Like the doll would dance and be like, "Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up." And this doll hated Space Ghost so much that he danced into a fireplace. Never gonna give you up.
And the
just
fire was
danced into
the same explosion from outside.
Yes. And our boss read that script and was like, no, this is going into the trash. And we would dig it out of the trash and be like, this would be a good Aqua Teen. Seriously, those first 10 or so episodes are like failed Space Ghost scripts and weird sort of
One
way.
man's trash is another man's Aqua Teen episode.
There you go.
A moral to the
Imagine how many
story.
scripts from other shows, also at Adult Swim, were probably just thrown in the trash. Like, hey, I got 2 Venture Brothers, I got an Aqua Teen, I got a couple Moral Orals, I got some Frankenhole.
No, we would watch Venture Brothers and go, how did they get to, all their characters get to walk? How did that happen?
I always watched that show and was like, this seems like it should be on Fox after The Simpsons, not after the Talking Butt-Face show and the Aqua Teen, the fast food.
I will tell you,
people.
there was a guy in charge of ad sales, and once Aqua Teen started selling DVDs and getting good ratings, I was at a urinal, and he sidled up to the urinal next to me, and he goes, "Boy, you really pulled that piece of shit out of the fire." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You try going to New York and selling a ball of meat as the next biggest hit." And I was like, "It's not my job. I will if you want me to, but."
What a charming man he sounds like.
Yes.
All right,
Also, don't talk when you're peeing. To a stranger, no. Just don't do it. It's not
First, he
appropriate.
looked down and said, "Nice package."
Yeah.
Right, Dave?
Speaking
right?
of meat.
No, it's just not appropriate.
All right, what do you say we get some questions from the crowd?
Oh, on that note,
Good idea, yes, no? All right, we got a microphone
Good
over here. If you guys wanna come
idea.
over here. Who wants to break the ice? Who wants to be the first? And we'll get as many questions as we can in the time we have. And 1 question per person. Hi, what's your name?
Hey, it's Saki. I was wondering if you guys were together when you recorded, or did you?
oh,
like how was the recording process and
Very good
interacting
question.
with each other?
You're with Homestuck, right? All right,
They're
I
over
remember.
there.
I remember. Okay.
Do you guys record anything else like together with people?
Yes. Most things.
No.
COVID messed everything up a little bit because there's some shows. When I did Chowder, I do a show called Chowder. The first time I did it, and they always did it, we're all together. Everybody's in the room together, and it's lovely. So everybody, you got, 8 people there or whatever who are just there for 4 hours maximum, because that's how long a session is. And the Patrick Star show, sometimes we're together, but now it's different because of COVID, so everybody's like, what's great is you just do it from your house. You have your microphone and all that business, and you just, wherever you are, you do it. But it's kind of nicer to be together because it's like it amps you're kind of performing more for your other, your fellow
Well, like
people.
doesn't Bob's Burger like generally do it together? Like, I don't know. I've never, but
I mean, the thing is though too, like I think like Eugene lives in New York, so he's just always on a Zoom. Like I think they try and do it together as much as possible, but not everybody's. I don't think even lives in L.A. I guess.
But we don't. We do it line by line
Yeah.
and separate, and that's just how I learned how to do it. And it's not weird for me. And we mess with the script, and we've all worked together long enough where I think, Carey and Dana know roughly what we're looking for, and they'll throw in all sorts of extra doodads. And
it can be helpful either way. Sometimes it's good to do it yourself, especially like you get to be in a room with 5 people and they're gonna be there for 4 hours, and you're sitting there and you have like 2 lines. You're like, yeah, hey there, peanut face. And you stay there another 2.5 hours. You betcha. 4 more hours roll by while everybody's.
Now,
like,
when
nice.
we
It's like you
did the
bring in for 30
DVD
minutes.
commentary, when we did the commentary stuff for like the behind the scenes DVD stuff, we were all in the same space then. But generally speaking, it's usually Dave and Matt on the other side of the glass, and I'm in the booth by myself doing my thing. He always phones his in, literally,
Both figuratively and literally.
figuratively and literally. But it's always a pleasure to watch Dave go in the booth and riff off some Carl and Meatwad and throw some stuff in there and whatever other voices he's doing at the time. So that's
at
pretty
that
cool.
point, we're so bored with the script that I'm still trying to make Matt laugh, and so I'm just
Which
going,
is not easy.
I'm going off.
He's so hard to make Matt laugh.
I'm going off as much as I can. So that there's that too. We want to be surprised. We want to be continually surprised by the things. So
Well, it's kind of amazing how many great things come out of boredom. You know what I mean? Like that. Like what's that ball with the rubber thing on the paddle? They're like don't. Like the old thing. It's probably invented by some guy who's just bored as hell. Like, what do I got? I got a piece of rubber. I got a ball. I got some weird paddle. I'm gonna make some weird thing out of it and just start walking around doing this.
Yeah, it's all
Try and
fun
entertain
and
each
games
other.
until the rubber band breaks.
Well, and
Right.
like, because you're in the theater, Carey, too. Like, when you do a long run of
Theater.
something, eventually, like, the crowd should all get the same show, right? You're going to be at a certain level. But when it's like week 17 and you're just supposed to be standing there like, but then after a while you get bored, you're like, you turn your back and make stupid faces at each other and stuff.
my experience in working on a lot of other stuff is that there are a lot of people involved. There's a lot of executives involved. There's usually some sums of money. There's a lot of people who want to be boss, and things just get intricately obsessed over and just crushed and smothered to death. And what was great about Aqua Teen is it was so small and so small stakes that at every level we could have fun with it. And so it was, I think that's why it was a living, breathing show, that people responded to, that there are certain lines that people will tell me at these conventions where I'm like, I remember that line. I remember when one of us just made it up in the booth because it's not the type of thing someone would write and turn in on a piece of paper, you know.
Well, thank you for your question. I know you went
I mean,
set.
also being
set
under
back
the
down.
radar enough, you got a lot more freedom, and we're doing a lot more things. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
we've done
absolute freedom when no one else cares.
Yes, I mean, but there would be very rarely that you would ever do a show on a real, you know, a network, something that like the person who wrote it is also directing the voices, is also doing the storyboards, is also in. I mean, it's just all those things are separate. Like a Disney show is not. Whoever made it is sitting very far away from. I mean, they're in it all, but you know, it's just a different. You have a lot more.
I occasionally get notes that are script notes that are, I think, technically very good notes, but really just sort of just take a little bit of gas out of it, you know, where you're like, this is a cartoon. Yes, of course. I can't. I don't. I'm going. All right. I'm voicing my anger at something right now. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, let's take the next question. That's a great segue. Hey, what's your name? What's your question?
Okay, Jonathan here. I have a personal question because I've just been wondering this for years.
If you put lotion on it, it should heal up in a couple days.
Well, what lotion are you using?
Yeah, you got to put the lotion on and not touch it again. That's the thing. Just leave it be.
Okay, the question is,
Oh, another question. Okay, yes.
so why do you use Dancing is Forbidden as the end credits? I mean, I kind of get it like, oh, it's cute. They use a voice clip from the episode as the end credits, but y'all used it for every episode. And it just made me wonder, what made y'all want to keep that as the end credits song?
Such a great line.
Yeah, it's a
Delivered
great question. Someone put it in there and we laughed. And then we got lazy. Then we just never changed it.
Copy paste.
Never considered it once. But I do love the concept that Jake would get so mad that other people were having fun that he would try to forbid it for everyone.
Oh, well, screw you too.
Well, screw you too. Where'd you get? You'll wash your mouth out with that. Saying screw. That's a bad word.
Well, what about,
Even you, unless you're using it in the context of hardware.
well, okay, what about fudge? Can I say fudge you?
Fudge you, mother fudger. Fart you, mother farter.
Thank you.
Fart off.
Thank you.
Does anybody understand what they're saying? Yeah. Okay.
My voice is a little ragged out.
Hello, Will.
What's up, Will?
'Cause I've been doing some Carl.
Hi, how's it going? This is more of a industry question because,
Which industry?
well, this is more like a entertainment industry type of
Oh,
question
okay,
because, like, I follow this YouTuber by the name of Rebel Taxi, and one of his live streams he mentioned that, like, about like the Georgia like film tax credits and stuff, and I was kind of like wondering about like further details of like how it impacted like voice actors like you, since like in this state we also have like a similar type of like tax incentive for a lot of like entertainment stuff. Like we just did Sinners not too long ago here, for example, and I was like wondering how's it affected your careers?
We'd be squillionaires if it wasn't for those damn tax credits.
It really, not really. I mean, Marvel, you know,
Yeah.
Marvel shot. They're no longer doing that, but they shot all that stuff in Atlanta. Tyler Perry, certainly. TBS got all those tax credits when we worked at for Adult Swim Cartoon Network, but that never resulted in any money in our pockets or any work. Yeah, I'd love to do the voice of Groot, but I don't think the tax credits are the thing that's keeping me from doing that. I think it's the fact that...
I auditioned.
Oh, did you?
I'm Groot. So this guy needs to be
I'm
peppy.
friggin' Groot.
Yeah, we all
Get over
auditioned
it.
for it. Where was yours, Carey? How'd you do it?
I am Groot.
Oh,
Oh, that was good.
well, I guess they.
Groovy, baby.
Thank
Vin
you, Will.
Diesel beat me to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was that question again? Never mind. Anyway,
Could
next.
you repeat the question?
All right. Hi.
Just kidding, Will. Don't.
Can you get to that
Hey,
thing?
how are you?
Does it need adjusting for you?
I'm doing good. My question is, out of the years you've done this show, are there any like specific jokes, line delivery, or just written in the script that really stick in your head now?
I have one that I remember only because Dave laughed super hard at it for a long time. Maybe the longest he ever. Dave is a great director and he's a great audience. Some people are stingy with their laughs, especially like voiceover directors.
And why would you be? I mean, honestly, right?
Well, I think some people.
But some people are, and they suck.
But I think some people just don't naturally laugh out loud, even if they think it's funny. They don't, But you're very great at that. But there was a line. I don't remember what the show was. I mean, it was Aqua Teen, of course. But it's like I improvised the line after we had done the line, whatever it was, a couple times, and Meatwad had like underwear on his head, like tighty whities, and he said, "Look, I can't remember what he says. He says something like, I got a helmet or something. I'm a race car driver.
I got a helmet. I'm a race car driver.
Yeah. And he said, look at my racing stripes. And I said, yeah, those are racing stripes if you consider diarrhea a sport. And Dave just lost it for a long time. And that day I was like, I earned my keep today. A good 5 minutes of him laughing. I don't know what episode was it. I had no.
Still a good one.
It's got legs. That'll be the next line of T-shirts I make. Do you, Carey?
I just love the line where Frylock gets on the phone and my favorite episode, Super Birthday Snake, where he kills everybody. Gets all pimped out. Gets on the phone and says, pick up a couple of bitches. Come on over tonight before I put a cigarette out in your damn eye. Excuse me, younglings, if there's any younglings here.
There are some younglings.
I'm sure you've heard that language before.
No, she has not.
No, no. Well, we work for Adult Swim, not Kiddie Swim. Get over it. So, yeah, that's my favorite line. But there's so many. There's so many. Dave?
Well, also the stuff that Aqua Teen did was so tame compared to what they would allow them to do later on Adult Swim. Like, I think full-on swearing at certain points in shows that came after us. And also there was wasn't there a weird thing, like they couldn't swear on the internet, but you could say, like, the poop word, Dad, you know what I mean? The sh and the it part. You could, like, they could say that on a TV show on there after a certain time, but it couldn't be on the internet, on, like, the adultswim.com, because any kid at any time of the day could go on and hear that word. You know, like, you could just there forever. Meanwhile, they're all sending each other lewd texts and things, but, don't say shit on the
I mean,
internet.
I think you put a box around something and it makes you have to be more creative, and I kind of hated the fact that it loosened up in retrospect, because then we got kind of looser with it in a way that sometimes it was funny, and sometimes I was like, it's kind of funnier if we had to stay by the kids' rules,
Yeah.
and just the line that I get a lot at these conventions was crazy. It was a line that I made up in the studio where it was like Shake and Carl were trying to marry the same Chechen mail order bride, and she won't open the door. She's got the door locked, so they're trying to marry her through the door, and they can't pronounce Carl's last name, but Britannia's like, just say Smith or Jones. It don't matter. None of this matters. For some reason, that line resonates with people.
Which is the name of you and MC Chris's podcast.
Chris named the podcast we do None of This Matters.
Thank
So check that out if you get a chance.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, hi.
Oh, I love that.
Looks
Why didn't you come by
familiar.
the
Look at
booth
you.
today? I didn't see you.
I was waiting for my panel to end so that I could come get you guys' autographs, and then this was happening, so I was like, maybe that's better.
Finally, someone with a
Come
good
by
spot.
tomorrow. I'll put you on with that. I'll put you on I'll put you on my Instagram, and you'll get to meet. You'll be exposed to literally thousands, 3,000.
He'll make you famous.
3,000, but thousands.
I need the
Make you famous.
exposure.
I'll put you on mine too. I have
Thank
like
you.
several million people I follow, but they don't follow me back. But I sort of like I thrust it on them by.
My name is Hunter, and my question was, how did you guys come up with the idea for hand banana? That has been what I've been
Great
thinking about.
question. Dave, I think you need to feel this one.
I really don't know. I don't know. Oh God, I don't know. I don't even know where we came up with that name, hand. But it's just like yellow and his hand. I know we used DNA from his hand to make the dog that loves to rape Carl. Oh, all I know is good and ball and rape. Very grim. Very grim
Didn't
stuff.
you tell me you had a friend who would do like, well, we got all kinds of soda. I don't know what flavor you. Well, we have orange, we have strawberry, we have grape. Anything that rhymed with that, he would do it in a creepy voice. I do have some. I don't have any ribbon, but I do have some Scotch tape.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's one of the episodes I always tell people to show their friends who've never seen Aqua Teen before. Start off with hand banana.
In or immediately out. Like cut out the middleman.
I always tell them, start off with hand banana, follow that up with Dickasode. And if they ain't hooked after that, then there's no hope for them. After all.
You know what? There's other stuff. Go watch Scooby-Doo. Go watch the
Ruh-roh.
other shows.
All right. Hey, what's your name? What's your question?
Good afternoon. My name is Miles. Thank you, Hunter, for asking about hand banana. So my question is, how was it getting back in the booth for Aqua Teen Forever Plantasm?
Like riding a bike.
Figured.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I remember I was sitting on a hammock in my backyard just right in the teeth of COVID. Completely not working. And I get a call from Walter. It was like, how'd you like to make an Aqua Teen movie? Are you kidding? And we did that whole thing remotely. And that was still sort of early enough in COVID where everyone was still trying to figure it out. I don't know, did you have a booth yet, Dana? Like in your house?
Yeah, I had a box of all this stuff that they sent me like whatever the week after COVID shut down. That was all. They never told me who it was from, nor did they tell me it was coming. It's just like $2 squillion worth of equipment sitting on my front porch for 2 days that no one told me. And then eventually it was sent from Disney for Molly McGee because we just started. But I was like, I don't know who set this up, but maybe next time a little phone call to say we got $2 squillion sitting on your front porch. You might want to bring it in, or who it's from. So yeah, we had that, but I think for that we did it in the studio.
I don't know.
I think I went in because it was the first time I went in for anything was in for that.
We wrote it remotely. Matt and I wrote it apart from each other. I feel like we did everything remote. We did the animation reviews remote. I mean, and I think it was a pretty good accomplishment. I mean, we did it in 11 months, all remotely. Doesn't COVID just feel like a weird dream to you, that period of time? I mean, just such an awful, terrible, but we did figure out how to do stuff, and it was nice. It was nice to work again.
I mean,
I'll say that.
And it's also now, there's a lot of people where I live who do voiceover who, don't need to live there anymore. Used to be you had to go in to record, and I mean, I would bet still solidly, a solid 50%, I don't go in anywhere for. I could be living in Jamaica or wherever the hell.
I used to get very condescending stuff, like meetings in LA where it was like, so you're from Atlanta? Wow, they got a pretty big airport down there, you know? And now it's like very standard.
Yeah.
Very standard. You do it all by Zoom, you know?
Yeah.
But
It's good in that you can walk out of your living room and go record your thing for 40 minutes. But it also is like more exciting to like go into the thing. Like I do go in all the time for the Patrick Star Show. I go to Nickelodeon and it's always like fun. There's like, you know, I just steal all the snacks and pour myself a Diet Coke from their fountain. None of this canned garbage. It's top shelf. Fountain.
I'm very proud of that movie. The only thing that I wish we could have been able to do was have that texting function. Have you seen the movie, like when the Moonanites break in and they tell you to text this number? Yep. And I wanted that to barrage you with over 200 texts, and for weeks, and like, and it would have been like, press opt out to opt out of Luna messages. And then, oh, did I say opt out? I meant opt in. You've doubled the messages. And we were going, and they were like, you have no idea. This will cost millions of dollars to do. But I was like, somebody's going to do it. We're going to, and we were, so they were like, yes, we can only afford a certain number of those. And some people were like, no, hell no, I didn't send that text message. The Moonanites told us to do it.
Well, didn't the lawyers finally, they're like, guys, you know, you can't legally send someone 700 text messages over 8 weeks. I think we could.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. All right. We got a little bit of time left, so we'll rapid fire these last three. Four? Four? All right. Hi.
4, yes.
How you doing? My name's
maybe it's a
Caleb.
group.
My question, just like the guy before me, was originally about Ham Banana. I respect her. That was a good question. But I did have a backup one. The clip with Meatwad and Shake has gone very viral where they're talking about the Bible. And he's like, that says the Bible. And he's like, you doubt the words of the Almighty Jimmy? What, like, was that just an epiphany or did you plan that out or something? Or are you worried about any backlash?
Yeah, I mean, we wrote a script. I don't know. Backlash. The only backlash I'm worried about is from my mother. Like, I did not even tell her the title of another show I made called Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. I just said, I'm doing this as a live action thing.
Although, talking about Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, I mean, I remember if it was you or Chris or Casper, you or Casper were saying this, but like, a lot of people who were very religious didn't watch the show. However, there is nothing in it that's blasphemous. It does, you know, it follows through and saying, yes, hell is a place you do
It is
not
the
wanna
most
go.
biblically accurate show on television.
That's it, very biblically accurate. It's just showing what's going on downstairs instead of upstairs.
But yeah, that was scripted. Yeah, what?
Well, I read the Bible. The Bible.
You question the words of the mighty Jimmy. So that's a
Thank
viral
you.
thing?
It's very viral on TikTok. It's just the sound clip of it.
Oh man, I gotta get a computer.
I gotta get some.
All right, what's up?
Residuals, all that.
Good afternoon. My name's Garrett. Back on the topic of the movie, I know the first film was kind of polarizing for a lot of fans because it wasn't necessarily.
Do you mean bad?
No, I loved it personally.
It's okay.
I like the first
It's
film.
okay. You don't have to say you love
You're
it.
talking about everyone else.
It's very uneven, I would say.
No, not me. I loved it. But for the other people who saw it.
And I know that with the second film, it was more linear, and a lot of people were happy with that. I was curious, what's y'all's favorite? Do y'all prefer the second or the first film?
I think the first 5 minutes of the first film is the best of all of it. Like, I feel like those first 5 minutes just kick ass. But it got pretty confusing. I mean, would it have killed us to read a screenplay book?
Probably.
Like, there's a very famous screenplay book, Save the Cat, you know, where they have the protagonist save the cat in the first 10 minutes. Of course, we decide to have our protagonist microwave a cat. Doesn't make him very...
It's like the opposite.
Of course,
but
that
the
was
same.
an episode, not the movie.
Thank you.
I like that second. I think I like the second movie more if we could have sent the 8,000 texts.
All right. And then we have our last 2 questions here, and we have 4 minutes, so go for it.
In unison, please.
So, back in like 2005, there.
Oh yeah.
There was a rapper named Danger Doom or MF Doom who did a collaboration with Adult Swim, and you had a line clip at the end of one of the songs. Do you remember them?
It's not a line clip. It was a fully fleshed out performance, but I know what you're trying to refer to.
Do you remember it? And do you know how that came to be? And did you also meet him?
No and no. I introduced him at a show, a live show he did. They had the guy in the shake costume. They said he wants to meet you afterwards, but he was real like, a lot of phobics. It was like claustrophobic, agoraphobic. So he would like, before the show, he would wait in his car. Literally like, they would say, welcome to the stage. They'd open the door. He'd come out of the car, go into the stage door entrance, and right up on stage. There's no joke. This is what he would do. Because he didn't like hanging backstage. He didn't like being around people he didn't know. He would do the show, and then he would say, thank you, Cleveland, and walk off and walk right into the car and drive away again. So he said, his person told me, he said, he is going to wait up in the green room. And he's like, let me tell you something, dingus. This does not happen all the time. He is like putting all of his, phobias on the line so that he can say hi to you because he loves Aqua Teen and he loves what all you guys do and he really wanted to do it. That's why he had me introduce him. I introduce him, I go down and watch a show. They said like when he does this song, I don't remember what the song was called, Pappy Makes an Omelet, I don't know, something, whatever it was. He said, go back and then go up there and wait for him for that last song. And then, but my lanyard, who knew this, was only a before the show backstage, not a after the show backstage. So I had the wrong lanyard. So the song is done, he's running up, he's waiting up there. And then I'm like, no, but remember the guy at the beginning? And it's just this guy.
Can I add to that? We all, I think, did things for that, but they mixed it separately. We didn't get to meet them at all. And I don't know that we even got paid to do that stuff.
No, Vishal.
I think the money went to Danger Mouse and Doom. But
when I recorded it during one of the shows, Vishal Roney, our producer.
Penny pincher,
like, remember that guy in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang who keeps the kids? That's what this was like. He'd just start drooling if they were like, you don't have to pay them $100 when you could pay them $1.
We're like, oh, wow, cool. We're on an album?
Wow. Yeah. I had no clue. I don't know what these things were. Like, you're making me do phone mail messages? I don't know what the hell. Then 3 weeks later, my brother calls. He's like, dude, you're on the coolest album I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, what do you mean album? Like a photo album? You stole one from Mom? No, I'm at a record shop. They're playing it on the speakers. It's like the thing that people are buying.
They didn't call me for it. I think they used clips from the show for my character. I guess they were scared of my skills. Yeah. They didn't want me to show MF Doom up.
You really triggered us here. With
I will say though, it's like probably the coolest thing we're ever going to be associated with. It's the one thing that resonates with my son. And we did have Doom in the building. I did eventually get to meet him because he played Santa Claus for a bunch of stuff, a Christmas thing. And he does not have a phobia about tequila because he drank almost an entire bottle of Patron in that session. And then he was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And he went to the bathroom, and then someone just said, he left.
That's code.
Are we done? Because he's gone.
No, we still have 4 more takes.
Thank you guys for your question.
guys, we
appreciate it. And thanks everybody for your question. And one more
Yeah.
time, big round of applause for the cast of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Also, let's give it up for Elgin, who was brave enough to sit up here with us.
Elgin.
Hey, is it cool? Can we do a stage selfie with everybody? Is that all right?
I was hoping you'd say that.
Let's do it. So we're going to stand here on the end of the stage. Everybody stand up. Get as close as you can.